Why do you feel like you're behind in life? Have you ever opened Instagram or TikTok and suddenly felt like everyone is moving forward except you? Someone you went to school with is getting married. Someone else just bought a car. Someone is traveling around the world. Someone started a successful business. Someone got the job you wanted. Someone graduated before you. Someone is making money. Someone looks happy. Someone seems to have everything figured out. And then you look at your own life and quietly ask yourself, what am I doing? Why am I still here? Why hasn't my life started yet? Why is everyone moving forward while I feel stuck? Maybe you have asked Allah for something for years. Maybe you have made dua for marriage, for rizq, for a career, for success, for a better life. And you keep watching other people receive the things you are still waiting for. Then a dangerous thought slowly enters your mind. Maybe I am behind. Maybe Allah is giving everyone else what I want, except me. Maybe I missed my chance. Maybe I am wasting my life. Maybe I should have achieved more by now. But what if I tell you something? You may not be behind at all. You may simply be looking at someone else's timeline and using it to judge your own. And tonight, I want you to understand why that feeling is so powerful. Why it happens. Why social media makes it worse. Why Allah may delay something you desperately want. And why the life you think is late may actually be arriving exactly when it is supposed to. Because there is something you cannot see. You are comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. You see their wedding. You don't see their struggles. You see their business. You don't see the years they spent failing. You see their money. You don't see their debt. You see their confidence. You don't see their private insecurities. You see their achievements. You don't see the nights they cried. Social media has created one of the biggest illusions of our generation. It makes everyone else's life visible, while keeping your own struggles painfully close. You wake up and see someone succeeding. Then you see another person traveling. Then another person getting married. Then another person buying a house. Then another person showing their perfect body. Then another person talking about how much money they make. And without realizing it, you start creating a competition that Allah never asked you to enter. You begin asking, why don't I have that? Why am I not there? Why am I still struggling? Why is my life so slow? But here is the problem. You are comparing your reality to their presentation. You are comparing your behind the scenes to their highlight reel, and no human being can win that comparison. Even the person you envy may be looking at someone else and thinking, I wish my life looked like theirs. This is how the cycle works. You get something. You become grateful for a moment. Then you see someone with more. And suddenly what you had feels small. You achieve something. Then someone achieves something bigger. And suddenly your achievement feels meaningless. You graduate. Someone gets a better job. You get a job. Someone starts a business. You start a business. Someone makes more money. You get married. Someone has children. You have children. Someone seems to have a perfect family. And if you keep living this way, there will never be a finish line. Because comparison keeps moving the finish line. But Islam teaches us something completely different. Your life is not supposed to be measured against another person's life. Allah has given every person a different test. Different timing. Different abilities. Different opportunities. Different struggles. Different responsibilities. Different rizq. And different journeys toward Him. The fact that someone received something before you does not mean Allah loves them more. And the fact that you are waiting does not mean Allah has forgotten you. This is where Qadr becomes incredibly important. You don't know what Allah has written for you. You only know what you are experiencing right now. And there is a huge difference. You might be looking at your life today and thinking, nothing is happening. But Allah sees what you cannot see. He knows what is coming. He knows what you need. He knows what would hurt you. He knows what would benefit you. He knows who will enter your life. He knows who will leave. He knows which opportunity will change your future. And He knows which opportunity you desperately want, but would actually destroy you. Think about how many things you once wanted, that you are now grateful you didn't receive. Maybe there was someone you wanted to marry. You thought they were perfect. You made dua. You hoped. You imagined your entire future with them. Then it ended. At that time, it felt like your life had fallen apart. But today, maybe you understand. Maybe Allah protected you. Maybe Allah saw something you couldn't see. Maybe that relationship would have taken you away from Him. Maybe that person was never meant to stay. Maybe the closed door was actually mercy. But when the door closed, you called it a loss. Sometimes, we call something a loss because we cannot yet see what Allah saved us from. And this is why you have to be careful when you say, everyone is ahead of me. Ahead according to what? According to social media, according to your relatives, according to your friends, according to society, or according to Allah. Because these are completely different standards. Society might tell you that success means money. Islam teaches you that success is connected to faith and righteousness. Society might tell you that being ahead means having more. Islam teaches you to look at what you do with what Allah has given you. Society might tell you that you are successful when everyone knows your name. But Allah does not measure your worth by followers. You could be completely unknown to the world, and incredibly valuable to Allah. You could have very little money, and enormous barakah. You could have a small home, and a peaceful heart. You could have a simple life, and be closer to Allah than someone with millions. So maybe you need to stop asking, why am I behind? And start asking, what is Allah teaching me in this season of my life? Maybe you are not in the season of receiving. Maybe you are in the season of preparing. Maybe Allah is building your character before giving you the responsibility you are asking for. Because sometimes, we ask Allah for a blessing, without realizing that the blessing comes with a responsibility. You ask for wealth. But are you ready to handle wealth without becoming arrogant? You ask for marriage. But are you ready to become a good spouse? You ask for children. But are you ready to become a good parent? You ask for success. But are you ready to remain humble when success arrives? You ask for influence. But are you ready for the responsibility that comes with people listening to you? Sometimes, the delay is not because Allah does not want to give. The delay may be because you are not ready to carry what you are asking for. And maybe Allah is preparing you first. Think about a seed. If you plant a seed today, you don't dig it up tomorrow and say, why hasn't it become a tree? You understand that something is happening beneath the surface. You just can't see it yet. Your life can be like that. You may think nothing is happening, but Allah may be developing patience, discipline, wisdom, knowledge, maturity, faith, character. And one day, you may understand why you had to wait. But there is another reason you feel behind. You have probably created an imaginary version of where your life was supposed to be by now. Maybe you thought, by 20, I will have this. By 25, I will have that. By 30, I will be married. I will have a house. I will have a successful career. I will have money. I will have everything figured out. But life doesn't follow the timeline you created in your head. And that's okay. Your plan is not revelation. Your expectations are not destiny. Your timeline is not Allah's timeline. Maybe your life will take longer. Maybe you will change careers. Maybe you will start over. Maybe you will fail. Maybe you will move somewhere unexpected. Maybe marriage will happen later. Maybe success will come later. Maybe the thing you thought would happen at 20 will happen at 30. And that does not mean you failed. It means your journey is different. There is no universal deadline for becoming who Allah wants you to become. Look at the prophets. Their lives were not built around instant results. They experienced years of difficulty, years of patience, years of waiting, years where the outcome was not visible, yet Allah was never absent. Sometimes we think, if Allah loves me, everything should happen quickly. But look at the lives of those Allah loved most. Their lives contain tremendous tests, so difficulty is not proof that Allah has abandoned you. And delay is not proof that Allah dislikes you. Sometimes, the people closest to Allah experience the greatest tests. This changes how we should look at our struggles. Maybe your difficult season isn't evidence that your life is going wrong. Maybe it is a season that is shaping you. But there is an important balance here. Trusting Allah does not mean sitting still. You cannot say, Allah has written my future, so I don't need to do anything. No, you still have to make an effort. You still have to study. You still have to work. You still have to apply. You still have to improve yourself. You still have to make dua. You still have to take the halal means available to you. Tawakkul is not giving up. Tawakkul is doing your part and trusting Allah with what you cannot control. Maybe you are 20 and you feel behind. Work on yourself. Maybe you are 25 and feel behind. Keep going. Maybe you are 30 and feel like everyone passed you. Keep going. Maybe you are 40 and starting over. Keep going. Your age does not determine whether Allah can change your life. One opportunity can change everything. One dua can change your heart. One decision can change your direction. One person can enter your life. One door can open. One skill can transform your career. One sincere tawbah can change your relationship with Allah. You don't know what Allah has planned for the next chapter. So don't destroy today, because you are anxious about tomorrow. And don't hate your current life, because it doesn't look like someone else's. You might be living in a season that someone else would desperately pray for. Maybe you have your parents. Maybe you have your health. Maybe you have a safe home. Maybe you have food. Maybe you have the ability to pray. Maybe you have another morning. Maybe you have another chance to repent. Maybe you have things you don't even notice anymore, because you have become used to them. And sometimes, the reason we feel like we have nothing is because we stopped noticing what we already have. Gratitude doesn't mean you stop wanting more. It means you stop believing that your current life has no value. You can want a better career and still be grateful. You can want marriage and still be grateful. You can want more money and still be grateful. You can want a different life and still appreciate the life Allah has given you today. You don't have to choose between ambition and gratitude. You need both. Work for what you want, but don't let what you don't have make you blind to what you do have. And if you are watching other people succeed, don't let their success make you bitter. Make dua for them. Say, Allahumma barik. And then ask Allah for your own provision, because someone else's blessing does not reduce what Allah can give you. There is no shortage of rizq with Allah. Someone else's marriage does not mean yours is gone. Someone else's success does not mean yours is impossible. Someone else's opportunity does not mean your door will never open. Allah is not limited. So stop acting as if you are competing with other people's rizq. You are not. Your rizq has its own path. Your journey has its own timing. And maybe the biggest mistake you are making is trying to force a door Allah has not opened. You keep knocking. You keep crying. You keep asking, why not now? But maybe the answer is not never. Maybe the answer is not yet. There is a difference between a closed door and a delayed door. And sometimes you don't know which one you are standing in front of. So keep making dua. But don't let the waiting destroy you. Ask Allah, if this is good for me, bring it to me. If it is harmful, remove it from my heart. And if something better is written for me, give me the strength to accept it. Because sometimes the hardest thing is not waiting for Allah's blessing. It is trusting Allah when the blessing looks different from what you imagined. Maybe you wanted one career. Allah gives you another. Maybe you wanted one person. Allah gives you someone else. Maybe you wanted one city. Allah takes you somewhere completely different. Maybe you wanted success at 20. Allah gives it to you at 30. And one day, you might look back and say, now I understand. Now I see why I had to wait. Now I see why that door closed. Now I see why that person left. Now I see why that opportunity didn't work. Now I see why Allah didn't give me what I wanted when I wanted it. But until that day, you have to trust without seeing. And that is what makes faith powerful. Anyone can trust Allah when everything makes sense. The real test is trusting Him when nothing makes sense. When your friends are moving forward, and you are waiting. When your plans fail, and you don't understand why. When your dua seems unanswered, and you keep asking. When you feel like everyone has found their place, and you are still searching. That is when you remind yourself, Allah has not forgotten me. I am not forgotten because I am waiting. I am not worthless because someone else is ahead. I am not a failure because my journey is slower. I am not late according to Allah. I am simply where I am right now. And my responsibility is to use this moment well. So if you feel behind in life, stop for a moment. Put the phone down. Look at your life honestly. Ask yourself, what can I actually control? Maybe you can control your effort, your salah, your habits, your skills, your character, your relationship with Allah, your environment, your choices, your attitude. Focus on those things. Stop wasting your energy on things you cannot control. You cannot control when someone else gets married. You cannot control how much money someone else makes. You cannot control how quickly someone else succeeds. You cannot control what people post online. You cannot control their journey. But you can control what you do today. And maybe that is where your life needs to begin. Not next year. Not when you become successful. Not when you get married. Not when you make more money. Today. Pray the prayer in front of you. Do the work in front of you. Learn the skill in front of you. Make the dua in front of you. Take the opportunity in front of you. And let tomorrow belong to Allah. Because you don't need to know exactly where your life is going to take the next step. You just need enough trust to keep walking. Maybe right now, you feel like everyone is ahead of you. But remember, a person walking slowly toward Allah is still moving toward Him. And a person running toward the dunya may be running in the wrong direction, so don't envy someone simply because they are moving faster. Ask, where are they going? And where am I going? Because speed means nothing if you are running toward the wrong destination. Your goal is not to beat other people. Your goal is to become the person Allah wants you to become. And maybe you are not behind. Maybe you are being protected. Maybe you are being prepared. Maybe you are being redirected. Maybe you are being tested. Maybe Allah is building something inside you that you will need later. Maybe the chapter you hate right now will become the chapter you thank Allah for one day. So don't give up on your life. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your du'as. And most importantly, don't give up on Allah. If you are still waiting, keep waiting with hope. If you are still working, keep working. If you are still struggling, keep trying. If you have failed, begin again. If you have sinned, repent. If you have lost something, trust Allah. If you don't know what comes next, take the next step anyway. You are not required to understand the entire journey. You are only required to walk it with faith. One day, you may look back at the person you are today, and you may realize, I thought I was behind, but Allah was preparing me. I thought nothing was happening, but Allah was working in ways I could not see. I thought everyone was ahead, but Allah had written a different road for me. And suddenly, the waiting will make sense. The rejection will make sense. The closed doors will make sense. The loneliness will make sense. The delays will make sense. And you will realize, Allah was never late. His timing was never wrong. I was simply too focused on everyone else's journey to notice what Allah was doing in mine. So stop comparing. Stop measuring your life by someone else's timeline. Stop thinking you have missed your chance. Stop believing that because something hasn't happened yet, it will never happen. Your story is not over. You are still here. You still have time. You still have choices. You still have dua. You still have Allah. And as long as you have Allah, there is always a reason to keep going. You are not behind. You are being guided through a journey that only Allah fully understands. So take the next step. Trust His timing. Work for what you want. Be grateful for what you have. Make dua for what you don't, and never forget. The chapter you are living right now is not the whole story. Allah knows the ending. You only have to keep walking.